Good evening, and thank you for joining me again for another story time. I hope you like my hat. I figured since it was Easter, I would wear my fancy hat. When I was a child, a lot of the women used to wear big fancy hats and bonnets on Easter Sunday. Tonight's book, it's not especially spooky, but I really like the illustrations. They are just surreal enough for me to put on here for you. This one is called The Whispering Rabbit. It's by Margaret Wise Brown. And it's the cover. And go ahead and start. Once there was a sleepy little rabbit who began to yawn. And he yawned, and he yawned, and he yawned, and he yawned. He opened his little rabbit mouth when he yawned till you could see his white front teeth and his little round pink mouth. And he yawned until suddenly a bee flew into his mouth and he swallowed the bee. Such a big yawn. "Hoo, hoo," said a fat old owl. "Always keep your paw in front of your mouth when you yawn," hooted the owl. "Rabbits never do that," said the sleepy rabbit. "Silly rabbits," said the owl, and he flew away. That old owl. The little rabbit was just calling after him, but when the little rabbit opened his mouth to speak, the bumblebee had curled up to sleep in his throat, and all he could do was whisper. The owl flying away. "What shall I do?" he whispered to a squirrel who wasn't sleepy. "Wake him up," said the squirrel. "Wake up the bumblebee." "How?" whispered the rabbit. "All I can do is whisper, and I'm sleepy, and I want to go to sleep, and who can sleep with a bumblebee?" He's talking to the squirrel. Suddenly, a wise old groundhog popped up out of the ground. "All I can do is whisper," said the little rabbit. "All the better," said the groundhog. "Come here, little rabbit," he said, "and I will whisper to you how to wake up the bumblebee." It's the groundhog. "You have to make the littlest noise that you can possibly make, because a bumblebee doesn't bother about big noises. He is a very little bee, and he is only interested in little noises." "Like a loud whisper?" asked the rabbit. "Too loud," said the groundhog, and he popped back into his hole. "A little noise," whispered the rabbit, and he started making little rabbit noises. He made a noise as quiet as the sound of a bird's wing cutting the air, but the bee didn't wake up. So the little rabbit made the sound of snow falling, but the bee didn't wake up. So the little rabbit made the sound of a bug breathing, and a fly sneezing, and grass rustling, and a firefighter thinking. Still the bee didn't wake up. Those are pretty quiet noises. So the rabbit sat and thought of all the little sounds he could think of. What could they be? A sound quiet as snow melting? Quiet as a flower growing? Quiet as an egg? Quiet as... And suddenly he knew the little noise that he would make, and he would make it. It was like a little click made hundreds of miles away by a bumblebee in an apple tree in full bloom on a mountain top. It was the very small click of a bee swallowing some honey from an apple blossom. And at that, the bee woke up. He thought he was missing something, and he flew away. And then, what did the little rabbit do? That sleepy, sleepy little rabbit? He closed his mouth, he closed his eyes, he closed his ears, and he tucked his paws, and he twitched his nose, and he went to sleep. I guess little bees only care about little noises. I hope you've had a happy Easter. So have a wonderful night tonight and a great day tomorrow. Love you all. Bye-bye.